Victoria Principal was born on January 3, 1950, in Fukuoka, Japan, a result of her father's service in the United States Air Force during the post-war years. Her father, Victor Principal, was a disciplined and dedicated military man whose career required constant relocation, while her mother, Ree Principal, provided warmth and stability amid the upheaval. Growing up, Victoria and her sister Kim lived in an ever-changing world that included Japan, England, Puerto Rico, and numerous American states. By the time Victoria finished her schooling, she had attended nearly 17 different schools, an experience that made forming lasting friendships difficult, but instilled adaptability and resilience. This nomadic upbringing exposed her to different cultures, values, and perspectives at an early age. Rather than unsettling her, the constant movement sharpened her observational skills and independence, qualities that later defined both her acting style and her personal choices. Das ist Zeresiabt, early artistic discipline and a change in direction. Victoria showed discipline early, studying ballet at London's prestigious Royal Ballet School, where precision, grace, and endurance were demanded daily. Though she ultimately did not pursue dance professionally, the training gave her posture, presence, and an understanding of physical storytelling that later translated seamlessly to the screen. After graduating from high school in Florida, she initially chose a very different path, enrolling in a medical program with hopes of becoming a doctor. However, a serious accident during her studies forced a long recovery period and a moment of deep reflection. During that time, Victoria reassessed her priorities and realized that her true passion lay in performance. Choosing acting was not a reckless decision, but a thoughtful redirection. She moved to New York, worked in modeling and commercials, and committed herself to serious training, studying drama in London and New York, determined to earn her place through preparation rather than appearance alone. It boys from breaking into film and finding her footing. Victoria's film debut came in 1972 with The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean, where she held her own opposite Paul Newman. The performance earned her industry attention and a Golden Globe nomination, validating her choice to leave medicine behind. While early projects brought both opportunity and disappointment, Victoria learned quickly that success in Hollywood was rarely linear. Some films failed commercially, while others quietly expanded her experience and confidence. At one point, disillusioned by limited roles for women, she briefly stepped away from acting and explored work as an agent, seeking greater control over her career. This period of recalibration proved essential. Rather than giving up, Victoria refined her goals and returned stronger, understanding both the creative and business sides of entertainment. That combination of talent and strategic thinking would soon place her at the center of one of television's most successful series, Was de Dade Feed of Dallas and global stardom. In 1978, Victoria Principal accepted the role of Pamela Barnes Ewing on Dallas, a decision that transformed her life overnight. The series became a global phenomenon, and her portrayal of Pamela resonated deeply with audiences for its emotional honesty and strength. Victoria spent 9 years on the show, earning international fame, financial security, and critical recognition, including a Golden Globe nomination. Her chemistry with co-star Patrick Duffy became one of television's most beloved partnerships, helping anchor the show's emotional core. Yet, even at the height of success, Victoria remained grounded, carefully protecting her privacy and planning beyond acting. When she eventually left Dallas, it was not from burnout, but from a desire to evolve. She founded Victoria Principal Productions and later built a successful skincare brand, proving that her ambitions extended far beyond the screen. Boxstast and the boundaries, love, marriage, and independence. Victoria's personal life unfolded alongside her professional rise. Her first marriage early in her Dallas years ended quickly, teaching her important lessons about compatibility and independence. In 1985, she married Dr. Harry Glassman, a respected Beverly Hills surgeon. Their 20-year marriage was marked by mutual support, discretion, and shared ambition. During this time, Victoria expanded her business ventures and philanthropic work, particularly in animal welfare and environmental causes. Although the marriage eventually ended in 2006, it did so amicably, reflecting maturity rather than conflict. Victoria later spoke openly about growth and change, emphasizing that relationships can be meaningful even when they don't last forever. She chose not to remarry and embraced a life focused on purpose, creativity, and autonomy, demonstrating that fulfillment does not require following traditional expectations. Amor Stipador. Meeting Andy Gibb. A whirlwind romance. Victoria met Andy Gibb in the early 1980s, when both were at the peak of public attention. Andy, the youngest of the Gibb brothers, possessed undeniable charm, musical talent, and vulnerability. Their connection was immediate and intense, capturing public fascination. To fans, they appeared glamorous and deeply in love, but privately their relationship carried emotional complexity. Victoria was drawn to Andy's sensitivity and warmth, while Andy admired her strength and stability. Their bond was genuine, filled with laughter, affection, and shared dreams. Yet the pressures of fame weighed heavily on Andy, and personal struggles began to surface. Victoria later reflected that loving someone in pain is both beautiful and heartbreaking, as it reveals how little control one person truly has over another's inner battles. Choosing love with boundaries. As Andy's personal challenges deepened, Victoria found herself facing an impossible choice. She believed in compassion and support, but also understood the limits of what love alone could fix. Over time, she realized that staying might unintentionally enable behaviors that were harming him. Ending the relationship was not an act of rejection, but of painful clarity. Years later, Victoria described it as one of the hardest decisions of her life, explaining that walking away required strength rather than indifference. She chose self-preservation and hoped that distance might encourage Andy to seek help. Her reflections reveal emotional maturity, acknowledging that caring deeply sometimes means letting go. This chapter of her life shaped her understanding of boundaries, responsibility, and the importance of not losing oneself while trying to save another. Loss and lingering grief. Andy Gibb's death in 1988 at the age of 30 marked a profound emotional loss for Victoria. Though they had parted years earlier, the news struck deeply, reopening wounds that time had not fully healed. She later shared that grief does not require proximity. Love leaves lasting imprints regardless of distance. For Victoria, Andy represented both joy and sorrow, a reminder of what was and what might have been. She mourned not only the man he was, but the future he never had the chance to live. Over time, she learned to carry the memory without allowing it to define her. Her reflections are marked by compassion rather than regret, emphasizing empathy over blame and remembrance over bitterness. Reflection, peace, and legacy at 75. Now in her mid-70s, Victoria Principal speaks about Andy Gibb with grace and quiet honesty. She remembers the laughter, the tenderness, and the creative spirit he brought into her life. Rather than sensationalizing the past, she frames their relationship as a meaningful human connection shaped by circumstance and vulnerability. With time, she has found peace, recognizing that some relationships are meant to teach rather than last. Victoria's life stands as a testament to reinvention, resilience, and self-respect. From global television stardom to successful entrepreneurship and philanthropy, she has crafted a legacy defined not by tragedy, but by purpose. Andy remains a cherished chapter in her story, remembered with affection, compassion, and acceptance.